ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नित्यानंद नमस्तुभ्यं प्रेमानंदप्रदायिने कलौ कल्मषनाशाय जानवापतये नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतुसे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we welcome everyone for today's discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So we were discussing from chapter 2, verse number 42, 43. We discussed from this verse. Yam imam pushpitam vacham pravadanti avipashchita वेदवादरता पार्थ नान्यदस्तीति वादिना कामात्मान स्वर्गपरा जन्म कर्म फलप्रदां क्रिया विशेष बहुलां भोगैश्वर्य गतिं प्रति। Men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommend various fruitive activities for elevation to heavenly planets, resultant good birth, power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say that there is nothing more than this. So this is the condition of those people who have small knowledge, little knowledge, poor fund of knowledge, one can say. And this is because they are too much attached for sense gratification. Indra Tripti. Sense gratification means enjoying one's senses while living in this material world. So we discussed a little bit about this. Now we'll read the purport and discuss more about it. So people in general are not very intelligent. So in general, the condition of people in this material world is that they are not very intelligent. Why? Because people in general, they don't have knowledge, Vedic knowledge, transcendental knowledge. And apart from this, people in general, they have general tendency towards sense gratification and to have attachment for material things is a general propensity for people in general. And as in this particular verse, Krishna explains, so those who are desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, so uh, they they say they are men of small knowledge and they are very much attached to fruitive activities. Fruitive activities means in performing activities with the results in the mind, result oriented performance, result oriented, रिजल्ट ओरिएंटेड होना चाहिए ऐसा वो बोलते हैं. It will be very hard to accept this fact because from the beginning of our life, from childhood, schooling, college, job, everywhere, the focus is on result. The result, if result is good, everything is good. Result is not good, nothing is good. So it will be very hard to digest this, that those who perform activities based on result, they are actually less intelligent. That that we are not saying. Lord Krishna is saying. Those who are attached to the flowery words means results, that material results, and results means good sense gratification, all these things. So that means they are not very intelligent, knowledgeable. But on the other hand, those people who perform the work considering it to be their duty, they are more intelligent. So if you can come to the stage of performing your activities as a matter of duty, so you are more intelligent, you are situated in a better manner than those people who perform the activities because of some result, to get some result. So those people who perform activities as a matter of duty, rather they are the person who get the better result, because their focus is very much clear that this is my duty, so I must perform it. So they go on performing the duty, the activities very nicely to the best of their capacity. And in this way, result automatically comes. But they did not perform the activity for the sake of getting good result, but they performed it for the sake of performing it. And that's what Krishna is desiring Arjuna to come to that platform. Do not remain attached to the result. And Krishna, in the upcoming verses, in some one verse, Krishna says, "Those who are attached to the fruits of their work, they are actually kripana phal hetava." Verse number 49, Krishna says, "Kripana phal hetava." Means those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers. Misers, kripana. Kripana means less intelligent. But Krishna wanted Arjuna that you should not become kripana. The opposite of kripana is Brahman. A Brahman is a person. Brahman doesn't mean, Brahman means not by birth, not by caste. Brahman doesn't mean one who has surname or Brahman title. He is Brahman. Brahman means whose heart is liberal, or whose heart is magnanimous, who is tolerant, who performs the work as a matter of duty, who is situated in mode of goodness, who is intelligent, who can see things as they are, and who is not attracted towards sense gratification, and who is not selfish, he is selfless, and who understands the higher purpose of life, human form of life. So these are the qualities of our true Brahman. And such Brahmins, they do not perform activities for getting some kind of result. They perform the activities understanding that it has to be performed. It is my duty to perform such kind of activities. So they are known as Brahman. And Kripanas, misers, are those people whose only impetus, or whose only this inspiration to perform any activity is the result behind this. And what kind of result they expect? They want the result which ultimately facilitates them to enjoy sense gratification. This is the only end result of all the material activities. It may be means known by so-called isms, so many isms of this material world, social welfare activity, so many things. So people may say whatever they want, that I am working hard for the welfare of citizens of my country. I am working hard for the maintenance or happiness of my family. I am working hard for this and this and this, so many things they may say. But the actual harsh reality is that everyone in this material world is tempted uh, because of this sense gratification objects of sense gratification. That temptations are there. They are desirous of enjoying their senses. Either gross senses or subtle senses. Subtle senses means mind intelligence. Gross senses means this eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin. So these are gross senses. So either one wants to enjoy these gross senses to fullest extent, or one wants to satisfy his subtle senses. Subtle senses means mind, and subtle senses are satisfied when one sees that his kinsmen means his relatives, friends, or those who are in relation to his body, they are also getting the opportunity for sense gratification. So either everyone is engaged in arranging this objects for sense gratification for himself, or he wants to arrange for the objects for the sense gratification of his kinsmen. And this is the only two things. The so-called, that's why there is no actual love in this world, material world. Everyone wants to satisfy his senses, gratify his senses, and everyone is desiring for his own sense gratification, except for the pure devotees of the Lord. Nobody else is selfless. Everyone is selfish. It may appear in different name, but this is all bogus thing. To be very frank, just like for example, a student, means college student, he may say that I am after knowledge. I am not after money and job, all these things. No, but he is after money. And suppose if you get a job, very nice placement, your dream work, dream job you get, but the condition is that you will get the salary of a labor. Will you work? Who will work? Nobody will work, because at the end everyone calculates how much money I will get. Because money, sweeter than honey. Because money is something by which one can buy the objects for sense gratification. This is the end result. And there may be some people, very rare, who may not really be looking after money, but then they are looking after something by which their this subtle sense gratification can happen. Money can buy facilities and objects by which one can satisfy one's gross senses. One can live in a very comfortable house, nice house one can make, and one can have very nice eating facility, sleeping facility, and recreation facility, mating facility, all these things one can get. And for this purpose only, they are working hard to acquire money so that they can arrange for objects for instant gratification. There may be, uh, 15 minute hold. There may be some very rare person who may not be looking after the gross sense gratification, but then they look after subtle sense gratification. They want name, fame. So they want to become scientist, a big celebrity, great sportsman. Uh, so even in this thing also people are looking after money to enjoy gross sense gratification. But but if somebody says that I'm not after money, it is my passion. But passion for what? Passion for to get some name, fame, adoration, and all these things. So this is also sense gratification. The only activity which is free from the desire for results, which results into sense gratification, is the Krishna conscious activity. A true Brahman or true Vaishnava can perform this. So, but in general, people are motivated by this desire. So people in general, that's why are not very intelligent, and due to their ignorance, they are most attached to the fruitive activities recommended in the Karma Kanda portions of the Vedas. And due to their ignorance, they are most attached to fruitive activities. Why they are ignorant? Due to their ignorance. Why they are ignorance? In ignorance, because they do not have the association of someone who can explain to them the conclusions of the scriptures. So they go by the in this inspiration or impetus of the mind. So they do not want anything more than sense gratificatory proposals for enjoying life in heaven, where wine and women are available and material opulence is very common. So this is what they want to do. In this life also, they are attached for sense gratification, and those who have some belief that there is life after death. So even in that situation, they want sense gratification in life after death. So once Srila Prabhupada, he was in one of the European or American country. So there was a billboard, big billboard, and there it was written, the question was written, is there sex after death? So Prabhupada saw this and he said, just see, they are so lusty that even after death, they are asking, is there sex after death? Can you imagine? So, so people are so desirous of sense gratification, then even after death, if there is any conception of life even after death, so there also they want sense gratification only. And that's why in Vedic culture, uh, those who are believer of next life, reincarnation, so they understand that if we perform very nice pious activity, punya karma, which are recommended in karma kanda portions of the Vedas, then we can get promoted to heavenly planets. So why you want to go to heavenly planets? These two things, where wine and women are available and material opulence is very common. These two things. So for this purpose, not for the purpose of serving the Supreme Lord. So that's why the Karma Kanda has been explained as Vishera Bhanda. There's a part of poison. Those who are after this, they cannot understand the real purpose of Vedic literature. So in the Vedas, many sacrifices are recommended for elevation to the heavenly planets, especially the Jyotistoma sacrifices in Vedic literature. There are many sacrifices and yagyas are there, and especially Jyotistoma sacrifices. In fact, it is stated that anyone desiring elevation to heavenly planets must perform these sacrifices, and men with a poor fund of knowledge think that this is the whole purpose of Vedic wisdom. No. So that is stated in the scriptures. If somebody can perform this particular sacrifice successfully, then he can promote himself to heavenly planets. And those who are uh, less intelligent or men with poor fund of knowledge, the funding of knowledge is very, very meager, very, very less. So they think like this. This is the whole purpose of Vedic literatures, Vedic knowledge, that some or other we perform all these kinds of sacrifices to get promoted to heavenly planets to enjoy sense gratification. So it is very difficult for such inexperienced persons to be situated in the determined action of Krishna consciousness. So such people cannot possibly situate themselves in the activities of Krishna consciousness. Not possible. That's why it's very challenging task for preachers of devotional service to Krishna consciousness, to make people understand these facts, because their mind is completely captivated by the desires of sense gratification, that they cannot think beyond all these things. They think ultimate purpose is this only. As soon as you tell, give up the desire for sense gratification, give up material attachments, they will give up you, uh, and go elsewhere where the sense gratification can be obtained. That's why so many so-called religionists, so-called sadhus, swamis, gurus, why they have become popular, because they provide the opportunity for sense gratification. That's why in many millions and millions people will come and join them. As soon as even a single person from them, as soon as they start teaching people that our ultimate goal of life is to become detached from the activities of sense gratification and follow these four regulatory principles, immediately more than 95% people will immediately leave, uh, and where it's very difficult. As fools are attached to the flowers of poisonous trees without knowing the results of such attractions, unenlightened men are similarly attracted by such heavenly opulence and the sense enjoyment thereof. Just like foolish people, fools, are attached to the flowers of poisonous trees. So, and the result of such attraction is either they may die or they may get diseased. Similarly, those who are unenlightened in spiritual knowledge, unenlightened or ignorant men, they are similarly attracted by these heavenly opulences, or the facilities for sense gratification, which is actually like poisonous trees. The sense gratification is actually poison, and Krishna consciousness, austerities in devotional service is actually nectar. But but those persons who are blinded with desires for sense gratification, or whose knowledge has been stolen by the external energy, illusory energy of the Supreme Lord, they cannot understand this. They remain ignorant or unenlightened, and they think other way around. They think that the activities of sense gratification is nectar, and the rules and regulations which devotees follow, those austerities are what? Poison. This is their understanding. But devotees know very well that the activities of sense gratification doesn't matter how much tempting it may be, how much fashionable it may be, how much alluring it may be, but the only results of activities of sense gratification is that it only gives miseries. So it's poison for a devotee. So devotee very nicely, very well he understands that all kinds of sense gratificatory activity is actually poison for me. So I must refrain from this. And all kinds of those activities which leads me towards Krishna, developing pure form of Krishna consciousness, and which can help me to purify my heart, is actually nectar for me, is actually important for me. So that's why intelligent are those who are devotees of Krishna. So knowing very well that chanting of the holy name of Krishna, reading Bhagavad Gita, hearing Bhagavad Gita, serving Krishna, associating with devotees, and following four regulatory principles very strictly are actually nectar for me, even though it appears to be difficult at present because my heart is unclean. So in the unclean status, in unclean condition of heart, these nectarian activities of Krishna consciousness may appear to be poisonous for a person whose heart is unclean. But as he goes on executing the activities of Krishna consciousness with faith, so as his heart gets cleaned, the same austere activities of Krishna consciousness, like chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, reading, hearing Bhagavad Gita, serving Krishna. So all these activities, which may appear to be boring or which may appear to be poisonous in the beginning, will become so much nectarian. It will be produce so much nectar that automatically the heart will immediately stop hankering after the activities of sense gratification. This is for sure. Srila Rupa Goswami, that's why he writes in one of the verse about the glories of chanting Harina, glories of chanting Hare Krishna. What he says, Tunde Tandavani Ratim Vitanute Tundavali Labdaye Karna Kroda Kadambini Gatayate कर्णर्बुदेभ्यस्पृहां चेता प्राङ्गणसङ्गनी विजयते सर्वेन्द्रियाणां कृतिं नो जाने जनित कियद्भिरमृतये कृष्णे ते वर्णद्वयी. So Krishneti, I do not know how much nectar the two syllables Krishna have produced. So this chanting of Hare Krishna, it produces so much nectar that the person who is actually completely pure within heart, pure devotee, when he chants this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he feels like that why only have one mouth? Why not thousands of mouths? And why only I have 2 years? Why not millions of years? So this is the feeling one gets. So much nectar it produces. And just like if you get to eat or drink your favorite eatable or drink, then what you think? What you think? Why only one piece? Why not two pieces, 5 pieces, 10 pieces? Why only one glass of this drink? Why not five, two more, one more, one more? Similarly, those whose hearts are completely purified after devoting oneself in the activities of Krishna consciousness, in the association of devotees, so when they chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra or when they hear about Krishna, they feel like this. Why only one mouth? Why I don't have many millions of mouth? Why only 2 years? Why not millions of years? This will be the feeling. Why to chant only 16 rounds? Why not 16,000 rounds? So these feelings may come. It cannot be artificially imitated, but the one who follows the process, he can come to this stage of wonderful experience. And at that stage, he will become completely detached from all kinds of mental agitations and disturbances towards material sense gratification. So this is the result. So in the Karma Kanda, section of the Vedas, it is said, Apama somamrita bhuma, akshayam hiva chaturmasya, yajinha sukritam bhavati. In other words, those who perform the 4-month penances become eligible to drink the somras beverages to become immortal and happy forever. Even on this earth, some are very eager to have somaras to become strong and fit to enjoy sense gratification. Such persons have no faith in liberation from material bondage, and they are very much attached to the pompous ceremonies of Vedic sacrifices. They are generally sensual and they do not want anything other than the heavenly pleasures of life. It is understood that there are gardens called Nandankanan in which there is good opportunity for association with angelic, beautiful women and having a profuse supply of somaras wine. Such bodily happiness is certainly sensual. Therefore, there are those who are purely attached to such material temporary happiness as lords of the material world. So this is the attitude of persons who are too much attached for sense gratification. I think we read this purport before also, but anyway, it's good to hear again and again to understand the philosophy. From tomorrow we'll study next verse. Okay. So if you have any questions, you can ask. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram. Yes, Palak Mataji.
ये सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन जो होता है वो डिफाइन करेंगे एक बार ये फिर से।
सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन, यस, कल बताया था मैं। सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन मीन्स whatever we do to keep ourselves comfortable in this material world. Practically everyone is doing this, either emotionally or physically, mentally, intellectually, in whatever way, or in an egoistic manner. If anybody who is trying to keep himself comfortably, to situate oneself comfortable in this material world, forgetting the real goal of life, that is the activities of sense gratification. And those who are not non-devotees, practically everyone is doing this, and that is the binding force, because then they become attached and they remain they are bound in the perform in the actions and reactions of these activities. Okay, is another question?
जैसे आपने अभी कहा कि जो हम चैंटिंग करते हैं हियरिंग करते हैं तो उसमें बोरिंग लगता है काफी बारी। तो ये कैसे करना चाहिए कि हम इंटरेस्ट डेवलप ज्यादा से ज्यादा कर सके। बहुत स्ट्रगल करना होता है और किसी किसी का स्मूथली भी हो जाता है
Yes.
शुरुआत से ही।
यस। सो लेकिन इसके पहले एक प्रश्न आया है जो पिछले क्वेश्चन से रिलेटेड है, तो पहले मैं उसको आंसर कर देता हूँ। प्रश्न आया है कि अगर हम लोग, इसका मतलब क्या मेडिसिन भी लेते हैं अपने शरीर को कंफर्टेबल बनाने के लिए, तो वो भी सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन है? Yes, if we are taking the medicine to make our body healthy in order to enjoy sense gratification, then yes. But if a devotee who is taking medicine or who is taking care of the body so that his body remains healthy, so that he can advance in the spiritual life properly, he can chant his rounds and he can do whatever duties, whether material or spiritual, has been assigned to him, so that he can smoothly progress in Krishna consciousness, then this is not sense gratification. Okay, so don't misunderstand. Yesterday, I think I have clarified this matter very well. That when I say that one should not means this if we try to keep ourselves comfortable in this material world is activities of sense gratification. So that does not mean that we keep ourselves in very miserable condition. No, the meaning is that we should understand. The meaning is that if we are only taking care of the body to make it comfortable and forgetting the real goal of life, we are not acting upon the activities of Krishna consciousness, then this is simply useless. No use at all. I give the example. Just like if you have a vehicle and you are daily washing the vehicle, and every once in a week you are taking it to garage for servicing, but you are not using it at all for going to any destination, that what is the use of keeping the vehicle? But if somebody is using the vehicle for going to different destination and places, so he can take care of the vehicle also. He can every day he can wash the vehicle, and from time to time he can take it to garage for servicing. So that is not sense gratification. It should be clear. We are not against keeping our body healthy and fit and fine. No, that is required for executing purpose of Krishna consciousness. But if somebody is not doing Krishna conscious activities, then all his endeavor to keep his body healthy, fit, and fine is all useless. Sense gratification. That is the point. Okay. Another question which Parag Mataji asked, that in the beginning we don't get taste. So what to do? So we don't get taste or interest in chanting Hare Krishna mantra or reading or hearing about Bhagavad Gita or anything about spiritual life, because right now at present our heart is contaminated with the desires for sense gratification. So understanding or taking this chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra or hearing of Bhagavad Gita classes, we should take it as like medicine, which will cure our heart disease, which will purify our heart. And as the heart becomes purified, the same activity, chanting Hare Krishna and speaking or hearing about Krishna, will become very nectarian to us. Okay. Yes, another question.
हियरिंग सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है ना प्रभु इनिशियल स्टेज में?
Yes,
मतलब
hearing is very
हमेशा
important.
ही रहता है, लेकिन हियरिंग
Yeah.
से ही सब कुछ अपने आप होने लगता है।
Yes, if we can very attentively, if we can hear, then gradually everything will follow.
और चैंटिंग करने का सही तरीका क्या होता है?
So we should chant, we should pronounce properly. Hare each and every word. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and hear each and every word. So this is the beginning of good chanting. In the beginning stages, when you start chanting, so we start with clearly pronouncing each and every mantra, word of Hare Krishna mantra, and clearly hearing. So as we advance, our heart gets purified, then we start developing some attraction or attachment for the Supreme Lord, and then we add feelings also to become free from the bondage of material existence, to develop a pure love for Krishna, to get engaged, remain engaged in serving Krishna's lotus feet. In this way, feelings are also added. But this comes in automatically. One who very attentively hears chanting of the holy name, and at the same time he associates with devotees and hears discourses, philosophical lectures, Gita, Bhagavatam, etc. Okay. Any other question? Okay. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.